Hey, what's going on people? It's SGZ here from the SpartanGameZone, and in this video I'll be showcasing all of the new weapons shown in the Wonderlands extended gameplay from IGN's first look, and of course there are spoilers ahead. From the extended gameplay we got to see a total of 11 new weapons which all look incredibly unique and are a great insight into what we can expect to bring some damage with when Wonderlands arrives on March 25th. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, or even follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what you think of all the different types of weapons seen so far in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and let's check out this new arsenal. So one key thing from the extended gameplay is how the arsenal is expanding over Borderlands 3's. Of course we get our own melee weapons and the ability to cast spells, but going with the fantasy theme we get to fire crossbows as well. This crossbow fires 2 projectiles per shot, and it'll be interesting to see if certain weapon types like this one are locked to specific manufacturers. It's not like a crossbow is just a crossbow, this is Wonderlands after all. They can also come with alternate firing modes, with this one firing an electric coil that squirts lightning out at nearby enemies. We don't just get weapons that fire bolts, of course not, we get other things too, with this gun launching discs at your enemies, and you can see through the number on the gun that it's consuming 2 bullets per shot. Having weapons like these will definitely add to the number of things we can deal damage with, and they all behave in their own unique way, with crossbows clearly having lower projectile speed than bullets. Electric coils isn't the only alternate firing mode found in the Wonderlands. Tracker rounds will also be returning, where its alternate firing mode will mark enemies for its main projectiles to home into. We saw that with this multi-palleted fire pistol, and it's great to see that effect get bestowed on some weapons that have more going for them. Whether it's still locked to a manufacturer like it was to Atlas remains to be seen, but for every homing weapon to be a lot more unique than in Borderlands 3 would be a huge bonus for weapon diversity. This pistol's bullets also ricochet off world surfaces, which is nice to see return, and I expect a lot of weapons will share that trait. Alt modes don't stop there, with this sniper rifle producing the most spectacular one of them all. Its primary mode shoots fire rounds, but its secondary mode summons a massive shock orb that, when shot, chains elemental links to nearby enemies, draining their health. This idea of shooting your weapon's projectiles was seen in Borderlands 3 with the ASMD, and I can see that adding a lot of variety to combat, especially if we're seeing it this early in this month of Wonderlands previews. And just a note on that weapon skin, thing looks mighty fine. Laser weapons will also be returning with this Poison SMG. This isn't your typical laser though, it actually locks onto your target, so as long as you hit them once, the beam will continue draining their health bar until they're dead. However, I doubt all laser weapons will act like this one. I hope they don't, because it's hard to see that hitting crits, but to have variety within a weapon type would be great to see. Next we have this arrow range shotgun, which if this isn't a legendary then I don't know what is. It looks similar to the Hellwalker, but you can trust me, it's not. When equipped you'll see an indicator on the ground, which is essentially the drop point for an arrow storm. It fires a number of arrows which are followed by a barrage from the heavens. If this is just a small taste of the weaponry that we have waiting for us, then I can't wait to see what other crazy guns Gearbox have come up with. This is definitely one of the standouts for me so far, and I can see it having massive mobbing potential. It's not all fantasy and shiny new weapons though. Traditional weapons are returning, and there's nothing more traditional than a Jacob's Masher. They're essentially a shotgun pistol, and one was showcased in full force, dealing increased critical damage and the return of ricocheting rounds on critical hits. This one actually has a blade on the end of it too, which will no doubt increase your melee damage, and was what felt like a clutch weapon in the footage, so there's no doubt that the age of Jacobs will be strong once again in Wonderlands, although they won't be going by Jacobs but Black Powder. We also saw a stock standard AR from the now Black Powder manufacturer, so fans of Jacobs should be happy. Mixing the old with the new is great to see, and the variety of weapons looks immense. and it's just one aspect of the game and how we can deal damage. The new element was also on display, aside from fire, frost, lightning and poison, which is essentially incendiary, cryo, shock and corrosive from the Borderlands series. Dark magic is one we'll be using for the first time. This weapon, manufactured by Hyperius, the new Hyperion, shoots orbs that siphon your enemy's vitality, returning it to you as health. Having that mechanic built directly into weapons is a really good thing and gives everyone, regardless of their build, access to lifesteal, which is a very important part of the game. Every element has its colour and Dark Magic's is red, and I can't wait to see how it fits into the gameplay loop. The overheat functionality of COV weapons in Borderlands 3 is returning, with the Skulldugger manufacturer in Wonderlands. This particular weapon fires homing shock rounds that target enemies all by themselves. It doesn't just fire the one bullet per shot, but two, and COV are the kings when it comes to firing a ton of bullets, so I hope that continues here in Wonderlands. The idea behind these weapons is that they pull ammo directly from your ammo pool and don't have a magazine, trading reloading for cooling off. No character could really take advantage of that feature in Borderlands 3, in fact it kind of did the opposite. In saying that, the COV class definitely holds some of my favourite guns, so I'm excited to see what Skulldugger can do in the Wonderlands. We also saw a small glimpse of a brand new weapon type, essentially an energy shotgun that fires horizontal energy beams, similar to Borderlands 3's Cutsman. Each shot travels through enemies, and because it's fired horizontally, has the potential to hit a lot of enemies per shot. Oh, and did I mention the reload animation? Yeah, it runs on fairy dust. The last weapon we got a glimpse of was a burst fire freeze gun, which I would call an SMG. The burst fire trait is a staple of Dahl, now called Dahlia, and it's great to see them return. A lot of the best Dahl weapons in Borderlands 3 were best when fully automatic, so to see their burst fire reign supreme again would be nice. This thing fires what looks like 6 or so projectiles per shot, so things are looking good as far as that's concerned. It's crazy to consider that all of these guns are probably not even that high in rarity, so to have guns looking this awesome from the start would be unreal. Now we do know that the loadout used in this footage was a strong one, and probably won't look like this for us as we're going through it, but to have even half the amount of fun that was shown in this clip bodes extremely well for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned of all the new weapons from the Wonderlands extended gameplay footage. And don't forget to let me know in the comments what you think of each one. If you did, consider dropping a like or subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.